Welcome back. Well, Shaun Haney filling in for Chip Flory for Chip's Corner this week. Shaun Haney of Real Ag Radio. Shaun, we were in Canada earlier this week, and in the Farm Journal report really took a deep dive into the differences, but also the similarities right now between Canadian farmers' concerns and U.S. farmers' concerns. But there is a major difference as well, and that's when it comes to canola and China issuing retaliatory tariffs. Just take us back. What is the situation as it sits today, Shaun?
Yeah, actually, this week those tariffs go into effect, Tyne, and China has retaliated against Canada, putting 100% tariff on Chinese EVs coming into the country. That was basically done in collaboration behind the scenes with the prior administration in the U.S., the Biden administration, trying to create this North American wall or shield around the EV industry. And China has taken some retribution against Canada on it. 100% tariff on canola meal, oil, pork, field peas, as well as some aquaculture products. Canola is really devastated by this. It's on meal and on the oil, not on the seed, but there is an expectation that eventually there is going to be a tariff as well on seed. China has been into an anti-dumping investigation against Canadian canola on that matter. So more to come. It really has farmers concerned heading into seeding time.
Well, and Shaun, if you look at the price impact, it was basically immediate. We saw the market pretty much shut down overnight for Canadian canola. How do prices set today?
Yeah, canola rallied actually before it was on its way up before all this announcement on these tariffs. We've lost about $80 a ton Canadian when you look at what has happened in the futures market in the nearby months, which has farmers very concerned. The Canadian farmers, according to Stats Can, are expected to plant about 21.7 million acres. We could see a pullback on that to a certain extent, but there's still a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of canola meal and oil that goes into the U.S. markets. You add on top of the fact that there's this trade war with China on canola. You look south of the border as well, where there's a lot of concerns. What's going to be the American biofuel policy going forward on renewable diesel and SAF? And will that include Canadian canola in some of the programming? So canola really right now is facing a lot of geopolitical tension, and it has the market quite concerned.
Shaun, you talk to farmers here in the U.S., and they're definitely concerned about trade, about tariffs. But we recently did an AgWeb poll, and it found the majority of farmers think that no matter what happens with this trade war, that they will be compensated by USDA because USDA has promised to do so. But in my conversations north of the border this week, Shaun, Canadian farmers are so concerned because during the last trade war, they did not get compensated for their losses, and they don't think compensation's coming this time either.
Yeah, one of the patterns here, Tyne, in the Canadian market is that the Canadian government tries to provide support through increased loans, maybe better interest rates, using the Farm Credit Canada as a tool to enable that all to happen. That's a lot different than what we're seeing in the U.S. You just look at the program, the $9.7 billion that's about to be rolled out to the U.S. farmer for essentially the market going down in the fall of 24, and more talk about MFP going forward. It is one of the things that really gives President Trump time when it comes to this, the talk of tariffs and trade wars and trying to reconstruct the trading lanes and system that the U.S. participates in, because the farmer knows that they're going to be backstopped. They're confident in that. We don't know yet if Doge plays a role at all, and maybe a little bit more of a libertarian flair, and maybe holding back some of those payments into the future. And it's a bit of a different policy. But as of right now, the farmer very much believes. The Canadian farmer, our research data shows, is very concerned about the trading relationship with the United States going forward. It's a little bit different than Trump 1.0. Trump 2.0, these tariffs seem to have a lot more longevity to them than we saw in the prior administration.
Shaun Haney, realagriculture.com. All right, when we come back, how Iowa farmer Mark Hanna is investing in innovation and giving ag startups a fighting chance.